When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel.
Well, excuse me!
Looking for good ideas for life? You're far from good hands.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
If you think the listener is always right, you're far from the right place.
Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works!
Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, but a rebel by choice.
Are you threatening me?
If you want a host that floats between love and madness,
and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite, looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
All right, guys, listen to this blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Within the gaming world, there are your general gamers, but then there are those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming. If you're one of those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming, we certainly got the place to send you. Scorpion Lair Games. That's right, Scorpion Lair Games is the creators of the true crime hit Killers, the card game. Let's not forget they also have Killers Clothing Company, the profiler game, and things like the 5-Minute Murder channel on YouTube. And we certainly can't forget the new book that is certainly a hit, Beyond the Headliners, True Crimes, Myths, and Legends. Make sure you visit Jeff and the Scorpion Lair Games on Facebook and everywhere today.
Hi, I'm Michael Learned, and you can hear me on Crazy Train Radio. It was a lot of fun, a great interview.
Hey folks, it's your least favorite host in the podcast world, Croc, Jonathan Steele. And boy, do we have a good one for you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this next guest is a 4-time Emmy winner that portrayed the highly publicized Barbara Fraley, who in 1969, along with her husband Bob Fraley, played by the legendary Pat Boone, petitioned the courts for guardianship of the 6 Mitchell orphans in the story Our Crossroads, as she looks back at the struggles for family survival in Our Crossroads. However, she might be known as well for her work as Olivia Walton in the TV series The Waltons. So let's go ahead and welcome Miss Michael Leonard. Michael, it is such an honor to talk to you. How are you today, other than what you were telling us about the animals in the house?
I'm good. My husband died a year ago, a little over a year ago. And that was a tough year. And sometimes the second year it's even harder. I don't quite know why. I just miss him very much. But Other than that, thank God I'm healthy reasonably, and I'm just old, but I'm grateful.
How
So,
long were
we
you
all
together? Do you mind me asking?
well, I'm 87.
No, do you mind me asking how long you were together?
Oh, 33 years.
Oh, that's
okay.
wonderful.
Yeah, not 87.
That is wonderful.
33 years we were together, and he unfortunately had Parkinson's, and
Oh, I'm sorry.
then he had an aneurysm, and luckily for both of us, it was only 3 days when he was not able to be himself, So he would have hated it if he had had to linger.
That's a lot of years of good memories, though.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good marriage, and he was a great husband and a lover, a friend, a husband, everything.
That's
He-
awesome.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah,
Irish, so we had tales to tell.
the question is, were those tales true?
Oh, that I never questioned because yeah.
It was worth asking. So, so much to talk to you about, and we are sorry about hearing about your husband, and
Thank you.
Yes.
but the animals are keeping you company, right? They're keeping you busy.
Oh yes, and Valerie's my friend who helps me on once a week. Not enough, but it's all I can do. And this is my little husband, Leprechaun, because he was Irish. So
I like that.
St. Patrick's Day, I just put them all over the house. These little things are so cute.
Right on. So when you think about it on the professional side of things, did you ever imagine that a young girl from England would go on to have the career you've had?
No, interestingly enough, I was never, quote, ambitious. I loved doing the work. I went to an arts educational school when I was in England, and I studied ballet mostly. That's what I was interested in. And then one of the teachers said, "You're not a very good dancer. Why don't you think about becoming an actress instead?" So I went into the special drama group, and I've been very lucky, I've been very lucky because, there are a lot of talented people who don't catch a break. And I got a break.
Well, what was it about you? Because you've done TV, film, and theater across the board. Yes, you've been lucky, like you said, but what was it? What do you think it was about you that made people go, you know what, we want to work with her?
Well, I'm not sure everybody feels that way, but I think being cast as Olivia was there was a woman who was the head of casting for CBS named Ethel Wynand, and she used to come up to the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco where I was performing. I was sort of the leading lady. Even though we were basically an ensemble company, there were a lot of leading ladies, but I got some of the juicier parts. And she used to come up, and she was a fan. And I think I heard later from a director, Glenn Jordan, a wonderful director, who said she fought Fred Silverman to the ground over you because I wasn't really what they were looking for. They were looking for a woman in her 40s with long red hair, and I had very short blonde hair, and I was 32. So I think she had to really, she really went for me, and I'm eternally grateful to her. I always mention her name whenever I talk to anybody because you don't forget the angels in your life.
Absolutely. Well, Bob, you know me, I'm going to bounce all over the place, but since you said you were a fan of Michael's work, you grew up watching and stuff because it was the show on TV that you saw. Did you have something you'd like to bring up?
Well, no, again, congratulations on an amazing career that you've had.
I've been blessed. Yeah.
Yes, you have. I, like he said, I watched the Waltons every week because, in that day, you watched what was on the living room television, you know?
I watched it
And
with my son.
yeah, and I grew to love it. At first it was like, oh, come on. But then I grew to love it. And I was like, yeah, and I looked forward to the next episode,
Oh,
and
thank you for saying that. I like that.
it really it grew on me greatly. And I I have to ask, because you were fortunate enough to do film, television, and the stage. Um, do you have a favorite of the three?
A favorite, excuse me, a favorite.
A favorite of the three, film, television, or stage? What do you have?
Yes, I do. Um, Most actors do. I love being on the stage
I was I was
because
I was going to guess that.
yeah, I mean, it's an interaction with an audience. When there's that moment of that great first laugh, which lifts you up like a balloon, or that incredible silence, which makes the hair on the back of your head stand up because the audience is with you in a very almost bubble-like moment. It's giving me chills just to talk about it, but it's
I love
that
those cathartic
interaction with an
moments.
audience is special. Yeah.
Those cathartic moments are wonderful. I love them. I get
Yes.
what you
So
mean.
you know.
Yes. And so I wanted to see if that was your favorite also. That wonderful. And I have to congratulate you on The Nurse.
Oh, Nurse, yes. It's unfortunate
I
that didn't go.
I wanted it to keep going. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And
I thought it was a good show. I thought the writers were wonderful New York writers. And it's partly my fault. I think the hours were horrible. I mean, there was one day that was literally a 19-hour day.
oh wow.
That's too much. I mean, you don't recover on the weekend from days like that. 15-hour days, 19-hour day.
Mm-mm.
And it was nobody's fault. It was just that we were shooting in a real hospital, so there weren't movable walls. There wasn't lighting. They had to light everything specially, and there were a lot of problems that had to be surmounted for that show, and that called for sometimes very, very long days. And when you're in every scene and you're working a 19 or 15-hour day most days, the weekend isn't long enough to really recover. So I was almost relieved when it was terminated.
Well, I have to say kudos to you for that because you paved the way to, I mean, we wouldn't have things like Nurse Jackie without that.
Well, I wish it had been Nurse Jackie. It would have been more fun.
You know what I mean? No, you
Yeah.
paved the way, and that's
Well,
groundbreaking.
Angela Lansbury, really, didn't she start it? She was the first kind of, to me, woman who was kind of had her own series. And
Well,
anyway,
but in
I
the
was
I mean,
I was grateful.
as far as the nurse genre,
Oh, okay.
that
Yes,
really that was
yes,
groundbreaking.
yes. Well, I never thought of it that way, but thank you for saying so.
Uh,
It was a blessing, another blessing. Um, I don't want to sound corny anymore. I mean, I've complained and bitched and moaned all during my life about this or that or the other things that don't mean anything. But in my old age, with a little bit of wisdom, I realize what a wonderful life I've had. I have healthy children, thank God, and healthy grandchildren, thank God, and a home and Valerie and my dog and my cat, and what more could you ask in here? And so far, my health. So, and I'm pretty okay up here. I have my lapses, of course, but I was just talking to my son about that this morning. Because he worries about me, and my youngest son. And, so I said, so far so good.
Well, before I continue, since you brought up the kids and the grandkids and all, did you do anything fun for Mother's Day?
Yes, I got up, took a shower, got dressed, and laid on the bed for the rest of the day with my pets.
Hey,
It was a do-nothing day, but when I was younger, it was a special day because my kids always brought me breakfast and sometimes little flowers that they picked from the garden. And it was they always made it a special Mother's Day.
right on.
And I heard from all of them. So
how many kids do you have?
I have 3 sons.
3 sons.
Who are all middle-aged now.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you got to enjoy it.
How many times have I said I'm blessed? But for a
it doesn't
bitch
matter.
like me who complained like hell most of her life, I'm very grateful.
It's one of the things you can't say too much.
Yeah. There's a lot worse things you can say, that's for sure. But one of the other projects, and we'll go back to the Waltons and stuff, but that I wanted to bring up is Our Crossroads. And this was an inspiring true story where you adopt 6 foster kids. It's their story of tragedy and loss, redemption, all that stuff. So, and you got to work with another legend.
Please don't call back. I'm in the middle of an interview, okay? Give me a few minutes.
It's the bat phone. It's Harlan calling the next acting gig.
Could be.
Hey, you never know. No, but you got to work with Pat. So what can you talk about when it comes to Our Crossroads?
Well, it was based on a woman who was immensely courageous and funny. I had a wonderful telephone conversation with her, and it's like we just hit it off like old friends. And working with Pat Boone, he's a very genuine gentleman in every way. I was a little bit, during the 70s, he was such a big hit that it was kind of, I was a little bit starstruck working with him, but he didn't, he doesn't come across as a star. He's just like a regular guy. It was fun. I got over being starstruck, and we were able to work very nicely together. Yeah. I haven't seen the film. I don't know what happened to it. I don't even know how you know about it, actually.
Yeah. I tend to cover many bases, but you played Barbara, and you had that whole the Mitchell orphans and all that stuff. So, definitely got to have a wide spectrum as far as movie taste. That's for sure. But Bob, the other thing that you would probably get a kick out of, and that's also recent, is the Netflix special in Dahmer.
Yes, I was going to bring that up next.
Go ahead, Bob. I
taught him everything he knew.
So, how was it playing the grandmother of Dahmer?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, it's kind of boring because Evan Peters is the sweetest actor to work with. I mean, he's a generous, giving, kind person as a human being. And so working with him was a pleasure. It was easy to love him as a grandma. And I didn't have any scenes where I knew what he was up to behind my back. That one area that really bothered me was that there's one scene where grandma's doing a crossword puzzle in the kitchen, and he's dragging a garbage bag full of human body parts through the kitchen. Now, I had trouble with that one because I thought to myself, how could, in God's name, could you not know that that's a bag full of something dead? That was a little problem for me. But other than that, I just tried to do as I was expected to do, and we got through it. But Evan is a darling guy. further from the Jeffrey Dahmer person. I tried to find a lot of her on the internet, and there were mostly just pictures of her walking around with her dog or her cat. But in doing so, I saw a lot of interviews with Jeffrey Dahmer himself, and it was hair raising because he was trying to figure it out himself. It was almost like he was separate from himself and going, I wonder why I did that. There must be something. I remember him saying something like, there must be something wrong with part of my brain. I know, I don't want to say that's a direct quote, but it was close to that. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, you think so? Yeah, maybe a little something was wrong with your brain. But,
you think so?
But in another way, it was kind of, you can understand how God, whatever God is, could forgive a guy like that, because he did, something was really wrong with his brain. He didn't, it was like he wasn't accountable for what he did, because it's almost like he didn't realize how we hold him as a horrible, dangerous, heinous human being. In his mind, it's like, I don't know why I did that kind of thing. It was weird.
Yes. Well, how, like we said, you've done a variety of things over the career. How important is it, whatever you're doing, to make the project your own?
Well, I think that's what every actor has to do. That's our job, really, is to study and try to find the character, how your character thinks and feels, and then bring your own life experience to that character. Does that make sense?
100%.
So, all this, when you cry, it's like you have to be a bit of a child to be an actor. You have to have that child make believe and be in that moment that's not real, but it has to be real in that moment, in that bubble of whatever it is you're doing. And that's what we all struggle for, because the more professional, the longer you've worked, the more you learn tricks, and you really work hard to not use those tricks that you've learned, to try to really be there. Although
keep the
technique
childlike
does help
wonder.
I'm sorry, say it again.
The childlike wonder.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's not always easy.
It's hard, but it's hard to not get jaded and like you said, fall back on tricks.
Right.
But
yes.
Even so much with it.
Totally, yeah. Are you an actor?
I am. Yes.
Yeah. So you know.
I've been fortunate to do all three, not nearly with the success that you have.
You're not as old as I am. Wait a little. You'll catch up.
But he's only 112.
Uh-oh. He doesn't look a day over 39.
Nice. No, but
you're kind.
But I never mind, don't even say it, Bob. No, but about me anyway. No, even with the tricks and stuff, Michael, it's the other thing is too, I think the good ones, at least anyway, will pull from life experience with the more life experience they have. So do you tend to find yourself doing that as well? Oh, I remember when I dealt with this. I remember when I dealt with that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. You do look inside yourself to try to find your own. I mean, some people are technically able to literally wiggle their chin and cry. It's a technique that some people have. I don't have it. So I have to go to some kind of painful time in my life. I have to try to go there emotionally so that I can, I'm not an on cue crier, so to speak. I have to be there in my feelings in order to generate tears. And luckily in television, because you do take after take after take, occasionally they will use a little bit of whatever that eye drop is to help you, because maybe by the fifth take you don't feel like crying anymore. You're just cried out. So then they sprinkle those little eye drops, whatever they are. I can't remember the name of them. They're just regular eye drops.
You know, Bob, it's interesting. I heard her in a conversation a little while ago before I got started and we logged on and all, that she wasn't a fan of auditions. So, Michael, why wouldn't you be a fan of your auditions?
Terror, self-consciousness, self-obsession, all those things. You know, my dad was a wonderful dad, but he was very strict in many ways. You know, stand up when grown-ups come into the room, hold the door for older people, say hello first, say good morning, be polite, table manners, elbow off the table, you know, that kind of thing. So I was always kind of, as a young person, I was always kind of self-absorbed. How am I doing? Am I getting it right? Am I going to pass the test? Are they going to like me? You know, that kind of stupid insecurity that we as young people often have. I don't have it anymore. It's like, here I am, deeply flawed, human, with a great sense of humor now and then, and not always. And what you see is what you get. And that's one of the great benefits to me of old age. You know, you just finally say, I don't need to worry about being pretty anymore. I don't have to worry about being sexy. I can just take the best care of. You want to present yourself to the world in the best way that you can in that. I don't want to go around being sloppy, but so I try to be clean and neatly dressed and my hair combed and all of that. But I don't, if you don't like me, you're not going to like me if I try to get you to like me. There's nothing, you either take me as I am or you don't. And that's your privilege and option.
Well, what do you remember when you hit that point and you're like, this is what I am and who I am, flaws and all, both professionally and personally?
I think it started in my 60s, where I started to realize, I remember in my 50s when I still kind of had it pretty much together, walking with my sister, I was 16 when she was born, so she's 16 years younger than I am. And I remember, and I was still looking pretty good at that time. I think I was in my 40s or something. And every eye was going to my little sister. And I thought, that's just human, that's nature. The eye goes to the one that's still of childbearing years, you know, the one. I was already over the hill as a woman, a childbearing woman. And it was very sobering in one sense and liberating in another. It was like, oh, it's not about how I look or how sexy I am now. It's about who I am and where I am and who I'm with. And it was very freeing.
And you're comfortable in your own skin now, and
I'm sorry, say it again. I'm sorry.
And so you're comfortable in your own skin, and this is me. Yeah. I like
as comfortable as you can be when you're old and everything hurts. I was thinking the other day, the reason old people walk funny is because they hurt. Everything hurts.
Yeah.
What was it? Past 40, everything goes to hell. Is that how it goes, you know, physically? But obviously,
and your mind, you really want, you know, the one thing I'm afraid of is my grandmother, who was a brilliant, brilliant woman. And I remember the last time I saw her, she was 92 in a home, and she was holding there was a doll. Her hands were tied because she kept scratching her face. And she had a little rag doll in her lap. And it was so upsetting for me to see her like that, you know?
Yeah. Was it the same woman you knew?
No. And I just hope I go before I reach that state. But I know my kids will take care of me no matter what. So.
Well, you made it sound like you had good kids, so you're lucky there.
I have great kids.
And it seems like you're keeping your mind pretty sharp. You know, so that's.
So far, so good. Crossword puzzles help.
There you go.
Yes, they do.
I'm the same way, even though I the games, whether it's like a crossword or games that make you think, I try to, it keeps
Makes your
me.
brain work. Yeah. It's like another
Yeah.
muscle. Why not use it? Yeah.
You have to work the muscle to get it to work.
Well,
But
that's like one of my teachers in college told me something that I have lived with and I will live with for the rest of my life. And he said, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying.
Oh God. Who was
And
he?
so I try to learn something every day,
He's right. He's absolutely right. I had a third grade teacher who was, I was like a daughter to her. She took a shine to me as a little girl. And she was my rescuer in a way. Not that I had a terrible childhood. I didn't. I had a wonderful childhood, but there were 6 of us, and she gave me. But we each had sort of one person that was our angel. I had her. My sister had somebody else, and my youngest sister had her uncle, her godfather Howard. So we each had somebody who was an advocate for us. And I had my third grade teacher, Beverly Tarlov, and she used to take me to the ballet in New York, and she would buy me wonderful birthday presents, and some for all my sisters too. She was terrific.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was blessed. If I say blessed one more time, will you just shoot me, please? Just
I don't want your blood on my hands. I'm sorry. I don't want your blood on my hands. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, don't shoot me, but just kind of, I don't know, put a sock in my mouth or something. Shut me up.
Yeah, Valerie, you got that on record? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't pay. She's afraid of me. That's okay. Aren't you, Valerie?
I'm afraid of you?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm more afraid of you than you are of me because you're smarter than I am.
But you won 4 Emmys, 3 for the Waltons, 1 for the Nurse that Bob had mentioned. You've won People's Choice Awards and a Golden Globe nominee multiple times. Is there something, according to this interweb thing you did?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ask me again.
I said, according to this interweb you did.
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll say we'll give you the award anyway.
How lucky. Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll give it to her. Yeah, she got it, folks. No, but with all the praise and the recognition you've gotten over the years for the quality of work, is there something you're most proud of?
You're purely professional, right?
Yeah, professional side.
I've had the good fortune to do a lot of Chekhov in theater, and I've played, of the 3 sisters, I've played every role except Olga, who's the older sister, and I played Masha, who's the middle sister, and she's a very neurotic and complex person, and I felt like I really got her, and that was my favorite role, I think. And then I had a wonderful experience, and I'm going to name drop, working with Francis Coppola while he was editing The Godfather. Who knew? So he had this little VW jalopy that he drove, little bug, rust-colored as I remember it, but maybe it was just rusty. I don't know. But I did Private Life. He directed me in Private Lives at ACT with Paul Shinar. And first of all, it's a wonderful play. And secondly,
yes,
Francis he understands how an actor works. He just kind of lets you go, and you go down the wrong path. He lets you go there. And then when you suddenly go, I'm lost, he then kind of brings you back and puts you on the right path. But you never feel like you're being directed or patronized in any way. It's like collaborative with him. At least it was. This was before The Godfather became what it has become. That's classic. And I just loved working with him. I've had some great directors. I've worked with Michael Langham, Guthrie, theater directors that some terrified me. Michael Langham terrified me.
What was it about him that terrified you? Just his directing style? Was it that strict, or was it his persona?
Well, I was just a kid when my husband, my ex-husband, Peter Donat, was at Stratford, Ontario, the Shakespeare Festival. We would go every summer from New York, and Peter would be in the company, and I was Peter's wife, and I had 2 small children at the time. And it was always lovely. I mean, on the one hand, but I was not working. And I would watch Langham, who was brilliant. I think I was in awe, A, of his brilliance, and B, he didn't mince words. He could crush you. He could crush you if you rubbed him the wrong way. And I think I rubbed him the wrong way. So I used to throw up before rehearsals with him. When I got into the company, I was so nervous. It wasn't his fault. But, you know, when you're young, you're frightened of at least when I was young, I was frightened of everything, just about everything. And yet I was strong. God, I was strong. I managed the kids, a diabetic husband, an actor. And
you persevered through the fear.
I have good New England genes, and I got through it, and now I have the most wonderful life. And it was then too. I mean, I got a kick out of my kids. I can't imagine. I was just writing to a friend of mine about Mother's Day, you know, and I said, I can't imagine how anyone can raise children if they don't enjoy them, because it's such hard work. And if you don't get a kick out of them, it's just hard work. But my kids made me laugh. I had the best time with them.
Well, that was going to lead to my other part of that question, the personal side. What would you be the most proud of the three kids?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think I raised 3 fine men. So I'm proud of that. Why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
I must have done something right somewhere.
Well,
Excellent.
Between that and having a great relationship you had told us at the beginning with your husband, yeah, you're definitely doing something right to have good experiences all around with them.
Wasn't always good, but it's been good since my marriage to my last husband, John, and we were married for a long time.
That's what I'm saying. You had that good relationship, then you had that.
I was crying one night, the night before we were getting married, because I didn't want to get married again. And I was crying. I was sitting on shoes in my closet crying. And he somehow found me, and he climbed into the closet, sat down on the shoes next to me, didn't say a word, just sat there with me while I cried. And I thought, this is the guy for me.
Yeah.
If he was willing to do that, you know, sit there, just let you.
Sat there and was saying, just like, I'm here.
Yeah.
No judgment, just presence. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He made me laugh. We had a great.
I can see why you went.
You know, I had a little dress rehearsals before I got him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Michael,
I don't regret.
Go ahead,
I
Bob.
regret one, but
I had one more question for you. Did you enjoy doing the westerns?
Did I enjoy my directors?
The westerns. The westerns, like Gunsmoke.
Oh, Matt Dillon.
Was that fun?
Yeah, he was a great guy. He's really so authentic and so unassuming. In fact, I remember we were sitting in our director's chairs while they were lighting something, and he said, "You know, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be driving a truck." I thought, he was just so down to earth and a really nice guy, and he's a good kisser too.
Hey,
I was the only. I think I'm the only woman he ever kissed in the series. I think.
A bonus.
We got to,
There you go.
and from that kiss, we had a daughter.
Well, that's how that happens, right?
The magic of television, yeah.
Boy, and I think they lied to me in health class. No, but who would have thought? Michael, I appreciate the time. Thank you for popping on and chat with us and sharing some memories. And God bless you.
Thank you. You too.
You were just the best.
Thank you.
Thank
God bless
you
both
for
of you.
being such a big part of my life growing up.
And thank you for making it fun and easy. Thank you.
You are gonna need a bigger closet when you meet our new friends.
What?
Our friends over at Silk Screams out of Buffalo, New York is a diverse owned company that has a variety of shirts to fit your needs.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Let's also not forget that Silk Screams also runs the semi-annual Buffalo Horror Garage Sale, which has tons of merchandise, celebrity guests, and tons of fun. Check our friends out over on their Big Cartel site to order stuff, or on social media for updates on merch, or on the Buffalo Horror Garage Sale. Visit our friends, like I said, at Silk Screams today.
Yeah, baby.
Hi, this is Adrienne Barbeau, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio.